Welcome, my friends, to another community showdown featuring the Warriors of Chaos, who shall be led by Zach B. Sane, and the High Elves, who shall be helmed by Green. So, on that note, guys, let's jump right into this match and have some fun. So, for the Forces of Chaos, are going to be led by the Dark KFC god himself, Sartorial the Ever Chicken. This guy's certainly pretty good against High Elves. He has really high missile resist. You can see here, I think it's 60%. So facing off against Sisters of Averlorn or regular archers, Lothran Seaguard, any of that good stuff, he's going to be very tough to bring down. He's also unbreakable, so he's just this huge high mass terror in the night who runs around, causes terror, and does pretty good damage. I mean, he still has 60 melee attack and 440 weapon strength, and High Elves often have spearmen, and a lot of their archers are very lightly armored, so he has a lot of targets for sure. On top of that, he's going to be coming in with the Steel Final Transmutation, which is obviously, I don't need to talk too much about this. It does a ton of damage, and if he gets a good cast and catches a lot of stuff in its radius, it can single-handedly win you the game. So Final Transmutation going to be coming in with the chicken. He does also have Plague of Rust to help out with some of the low AP units here. Chosen obviously don't have the best AP, these ones don't. So being able to Plague of Rust something elite, for example. So if the Chosen were fighting the Phoenix Guard, he overcasts Plague of Rust, puts them down to 40 armor, the Chosen will cut through them very, very quickly. So aside from that, he's got Chaos Marauders, it looks like, across the entire front line, mixed in with a couple groups of Chosen. So somewhat elite here in the front line. I think just two groups of Chosen. The rest of the army is indeed going to be Marauders. And Marauders do pretty well against High Elves. I mean, oftentimes High Elves do use spears and kind of chaffy units, so you can usually get away with using Marauders to just kind of envelop their army and trade with the low tier units. But in this case, though, it looks like his opponent Green has a pretty elite army. So it's going to be Swordmasters and Phoenix Guard, just all sorts of nasty stuff. A couple spears on the flanks will be the weak point, but for the most part, the Marauders are really going to struggle against this type of infantry. So the Warp Chicken certainly has his work cut out for him. It looks like on top of that, Zach B. Sane does have Marauder Horsemen here. So 1, 2, and a 3. No, just 2. So Horsemaster and other group is going to be Horsemen. So these guys are going to be very crucial at dealing with the Flamespire Phoenix, who only has 30 armor and is incredibly quick. It's tough for a lot of things like Shaggus to actually keep up, but if you do have the Horsemasters putting that constant pressure on them, it can be pretty good. Last but not least, Zach does also have a Dragon Ogre Shaggoth, so he's going to have his hands full as well, fighting up against this big Star Dragon here. But anti-large, armor piercing, relatively mobile with a 76 speed. A solid pick for sure, and with no Sisters of Averlorn or Bolt Throwers, he's going to be in relatively good shape. He's probably going to be hunting that Phoenix for most of the battle. So for the Army of Green, it looks like he does have a Flamespire Phoenix up here in the sky, 3 groups of Reaver Archers, which is going to be really strong. I mean, they can counter skirmish the hell out of Marauder Horsemen. 140 range, just better combat stats in melee. These guys are just going to be very dominant here. So it's going to be tough for Zach to keep those guys protected, so quite eager to see how that goes. He does also have a Princess up on a Star Dragon. So the Princess is the missile variant, and she's going to be dropping a volley of arrows. Her breath attacks definitely brings a lot of utility to the battlefield. And at the end of the day, it's a big, scary Star Dragon. I mean, what's not to like? On top of that, we got a Flamespire Phoenix, who's always useful. The Rebirth effect can just be game-changing. Pretty good AP, so if it has to fight like big monsters like Shaggoths, it won't win in a straight-up fight, but if the Shaggoth is busy fighting something else like Halberds and the Phoenix comes in and gets some punch and terror, it can be really, really good. I mean, the terror doesn't do anything against the Dragon Ogre, but still nonetheless very, very good. On top of that, we got a Mage of Life, or no, actually High Magic. So it's going to be Apotheosis and Soul Quench. So Soul Quench is something you don't see terribly often, but it's a missile spell. And I don't really know about its damage parameters. I don't see it enough to really know what it's really good against, but hopefully in this game we'll get to see. So let's get this show on the road, guys, and have some fun. So the Pigeon's going to be coming in, maybe doing some droppings here on the Marauders, but the Horsemasters and Horsemen are going to be able to kind of keep it back, but he can't really screen terribly effectively because of the Reavers. The Reavers are really going to give the High Elves a lot of battlefield control. Now, one thing that is really good for Chaos is the fact that the Chicken has the Final Transmutation, and there's a lot of elite targets. So, for example, if Sartorial were to run in the middle of this blob here, and the Halberds and Swordmasters and maybe like a Star Dragon jumped on him, that Final Transmutation could just be devastating for sure. Over here on the far side, the High Elves are going to be getting some pot shots here against the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth, and the Shaggoth's juking pretty well. Looks like it took pretty minimal damage. Maybe it took like 100 or 200 damage tops. So it's going to be pulling back a little bit, but by forcing the Shaggoth back, it opens up Dragon play. So if the Princess wanted to, she could easily dive into these troops and get some free value here. And really, get some good stuff. Mirror Guard, in the meantime, going to be advancing. I actually missed them in the pre-screen here, but the Mirror Guard are also quite good. One of those units are immune to psychology. They're a solid anchor. They have silver shields. Certainly can't complain about the quality here. Ooh, look at that Soul Quench, man. So he used the Soul Quench. That is brutal stuff. Okay, that's something I have to test myself. So Soul Quench right there with the Mage of High, the High Mage, the highest of mages, 420 Mage, was able to get some pretty good blasts right there and just wreck those Chosen. Insane 37 kills on that Soul Quench. That is devastating damage. Now, in the meantime, the Reaver Cav going to be continuing their skirmishing game, just, being relatively conservative on ammo, but dropping some shots into Marauders here. Zach is able to get the Horsemasters up and shoot here at the Princess. Princess takes a little bit of work for sure, but she's going to be able to get some good value here against this Mirror Guard as they're a pretty ideal target. And you can see here the Flamespire Pigeon going to be jumping in as well, and the Mirror Guard certainly taking some very heavy casualties as it pertains to models and their HP. So Chaos really needs to get this show on the road. They need to advance and start fighting here, get some final transmutations, because the skirmishing game of the High Elves is really, really strong, and that Soul Quench is disgusting. Oh my god, let's watch this. Here it comes. Oh, did he just shoot it into the ground? I think he did. I think he did. Well, why did that not go off? Damn it, I was so excited for that. I was so hyped. I was in good position and everything, but I think it ended up shooting into the... Oh, he was in a little ravine right here and it just shot into the hill right in front of him. That's really unfortunate. But anyways, I would say the mage has already paid for itself by taking out these Chosen right here, which are one of the few, strong units Chaos has here. So the Ever Chicken's going to be jumping in. Maybe he's thinking about it, but the Star Dragon and the Phoenix are able to kind of fend him off here. Chaos getting a little bit of a surround, so the Mirror Guard and other troops are going to be pressuring in, and the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth is now going to be advancing as well. But you can see here the Flamespire Phoenix and the Star Dragon definitely doing some really good work against these very expensive Mirror Guard. And on the far side, some of the Spears of the High Elves are taking a little bit of harass work, and Marauders should be able to get the charge on them and really take those guys out, but still a lot of ammunition being used against the Silver Shielded Infantry. Now in the meantime, Mirror Guard and company are going to be advancing up the hill, and the Chaos Infantry have finally made contact here with some of the chaff of the High Elves, and here we have a big monster fight. So this is actually going to be decent for Zach, because he's going to have that fat final transmutation, which is going to hit the Princess, it's going to hit the Bird. It's definitely going to be quite nice. Now, it's not as much of a value train as it could be, but I would say based on the circumstances, that was his best play there. So he hits the Princess, does a ton of damage. We got some bird-on-bird battling here, all the Flamespire Phoenix thinking about it. Sartorial also has pretty good magic resist as well, so he can resist a lot of the damage coming in from the Phoenix. In the frontline fighting, Marauders still grinding it out. Zach's forces doing a pretty good job here, working their way through the chaff, but now it's time for the big boys to come in. So the Swordmasters of Hoeth and company are going to be advancing with the Phoenix Guard, and Mirror Guard is still going strong, and that's why, they've taken such a beating, but despite that, they're steady, they're fighting, and they're actually doing a little bit of damage against these Phoenix Guard and holding these monsters at bay. So Zach with a nice countercharge coming in with the Shaggoth and the Bird, and we're going to have that glorious Bird showdown. It looks like, maybe that's going to be the final moment here of the game. Now, I kind of want to watch the High Mage and see if we can get any more fast Soul Quenches. Apotheosis is going to be going down to the Princess here, getting some good heals as she does cycle charge into these Mirror Guard here. And the Shaggoth lending some of his giant axe to the battle against the Swordmasters, but there's a lot of elite High Elf infantry. Granted, if they are taking a bunch of javelins in the back from these Horsemen and Horsemasters, that eventually will wear them down. It looks like Zach did also have two more groups of the Horsemasters and Horsemen that I did miss. I think he had them vanguarded somewhere on the map. So anyways, fighting's still on here. Bounce Bar is really even despite those Chosen really getting taken out. So really well played here by Zach getting back into the game. I think High Elves had a huge advantage earlier with their skirmishing. Soul Quench going down as well, and it does hit the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth and does pretty much no damage. So I think the strength of it is really taking out the infantry like we saw. 37 kills against Chosen. It was like that perfect angle. So the Shaggoth is going to be helping out. Marauders and company are slowly getting cleaved by the Phoenix Guard. Just getting worn down and grinded. Mirror Guard are 100% broken. And also the High Elves, like I said, Reaver Cav are really, really good in combat. They have pretty good stat line in the 30s, 32, 34, 27 against 26, 26, 26. So they're most certainly going to be able to win that fight, especially with these kind of numbers. Breath Attack coming down as well is able to make some really good contact against the Shaggoth. So nice breath Attack coming in there from green. But there's still some Chaos Infantry left. We got Chosen up here on the high ground. Oh no, that's not good. A full health group of Chosen, that's going to be mean to deal with, especially if the Warp Chicken does have a Plague of Rust. Granted, I think that the Warriors of Chaos here are saving up for another final transmutation because the Princess is relatively low, and if it gets caught by a couple attacks from these monstrous units and then gets final transmutation, that's going to be pretty dire for sure. That would have been an opportunity there maybe, but I think she was running away too quickly because to hit all that stuff would have been really good. In the meantime, Reaper Cav are going to be sweeping in looking for an opportunity to maybe go after the Horsemaster Goon Squad, but that's a lot of Horsemasters as well, and just based on sheer numbers, the Horsemasters might be able to kind of fight back there. So it's kind of devolving into a bit of a pit fight here. The Mage uses the Book of Hoeth to greatly improve the power recharge rate, so maybe going to be going for more Apotheosises or another Soul Quench, but probably not Soul Quench because you have to be in really good position, it seems, for that. It really just ran into that terrain there. And the Shaggoth could potentially take it to pound time right here. This Mage is going to be getting clubbed pretty good here. But the Phoenix still nowhere near its healing cap, which means if it does get brought low and it's able to get a big healing proc, that could just be a brutal, brutal situation. Some Marauders and company fighting on the low ground. The 60 Chosen have now engaged with the Phoenix Guard. And it looks like a breath attack may be coming in from the Princess. She's thinking about it. On the Chosen would be a really, really good target. But again, could be some friendly fire because they're pretty kind of ingrained here. Breath attack coming in, and oh, that was a good one. That was a really good breath attack. It destroys one group of Chosen, essentially, and the other one loses a handful of models there. So very, very good play there from the High Elf. And now you can see Chaos is coming in for the counterpunch, though. The Phoenix Guard are breaking off as well. Shaggoth's coming in, and with another final transmutation in the bank, I'm pretty sure he's saving up for the overcasted variant, so things are going to be getting pretty spicy for sure. The Flamespire Bird is going to be chasing off the Horsemasters, which is pretty good, and there still is a group of Chaos Marauders here in the distance, so Chaos does have a bit of an anchor left. I mean, not an elite one, but still having some infantry is certainly not a bad thing. And oh man, the Reaver's dumping a load of fire here into the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth. Volley of arrows doing the same thing, so really, really good sniping right there. And the Shaggoth is going to be getting hit with the Soul Quench as well, it looks like, or is that another breath attack? Could have sworn it wouldn't be off cooldown by now, but anyways, the Shaggoth taking a lot of work, might actually be breaking here in a moment. He's shaken, and if that pressure is consistent and the Reavers keep poking in, Soul Quench is able to do some good damage. Let's actually watch this and see the damage show. 21 does about 300, but yeah, it really gets its money's worth when it's going for its infantry. But again, still a really good choice. There's no other really good targets for it anymore. So right here, the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth is going to be getting hunted by the Princess. Really, really nice dive right there. But the Warp Chicken's coming in with the Steel Chair, and the final transmutation is coming in, which I believe is going to hit both these guys. Does it hit the bird? No, it doesn't. It just hits the Princess. So man, that was a really close situation. Had it also hit the bird, that would have been just game-changing right there. Up on the high ground, it looks like the Reavers plus the Mage is going to be doing battle with the Horsemasters, but the Chaos Horde is going to be engaging. So now we have a big pit fight, which I think is actually going to favor the High Elves because they have the Phoenix here. The Phoenix is going to cause terror, so these very tattered horsemen and horsemasters probably going to be getting pushed off relatively quickly, whereas, the Warp Chicken does cause terror himself, but the High Elves here are a little bit more resolute and in better shape for the most part. I mean, these guys are somewhat healthy, right? Aside from this group. So the first terror route is going to be going down to the Marauder Horsemasters. The Warp Chicken, though, with standard die is really keeping this fight going, and man, this game is really, really close. I mean, I thought on multiple occasions it would be going in one direction or the other, but here it's still going. So I think the battle's going to come down to the Warp Chicken versus the Dragon. I mean, the Star Dragon's certainly up to the task of chewing on this KFC, but Horsemasters are kind of surrounding the Dragon, 2,800 HP, and the Chicken still has 3.4, plus he's also unbreakable. Missing his attacks, the Star Dragon still does have 54 melee defense, which makes him, a little bit durable. And Chaos has some infantry coming in, but just horsemen and archers, and there's still quite a few Phoenix Guard coming in. 47 models of Phoenix Guard is going to be very, very tough. And the Princess still has a couple shots as well, so she can get back up into the sky and drop some pot shots. But yeah, that's really tough. And also with the threat of the Flamespire Phoenix still being here, that is going to be a really tough situation. So the Phoenix has 1.4k HP here, hunting down his cousin. Is he going to be able to make good contact? The Reaver's using pretty much the last of their ammo to shoot down the Horsemasters, which is a good choice. Getting rid of the mobility for Chaos will really give High Elves a lot of options here. And the Marauders, the last group that was kind of in reserve here, is going to be engaging against these Phoenix Guard, and just through sheer numbers, they could probably actually finish off these Phoenix Guard, but with any support from the High Elves. So the Reaver's charging in, the Mage, the Princess coming in for a second, it'll turn the tide of that battle very, very quickly. But you can see here the Phoenix Guard actually, breaking off. Good stuff there from the Marauders, as the Flamespire Phoenix does charge in. Oh, that's really big. I mean, that Shaggoth, that's a lot of HP. 600 HP is like maybe 2 attacks from the Star Dragon, so if it eats an attack and he's able to beat down the bird here, that would be pretty good. But anyways, I think the Princess is going to be going in. Looks like Plague of Rust is dropped on the Princess to lower the armor a little bit, and the Shaggoth does take a little bit of a glancing blow, but nothing terribly devastating. Only takes about 100 damage there. But it does break, which is pretty big. So the fact that the Shaggoth is broken, now Green, if he wants to, can simply grab his Flamespire Phoenix or any number of his mobile units, like the Reaver Cab, and just chase it off the battlefield, which would be a very, very, very strong play. So the Bounce Power for the first time in the game is going to be ebbing into the favor of the High Elves' favor, as that Dragon Ogre Shaggoth does break off, but never underestimate the Warp Chicken. I don't think he's going to have enough Winds of Magic for another final transmutation unless this went to like just the bitter end. Like I'm talking like just 19-minute mode. But the Shaggoth does come back, and with the Shaggoth coming back, the Bounce Power does kind of stabilize somewhat. But I mean, Phoenix Guard, there's 41 of those guys. Those guys are just so tough to break. And Chaos doesn't really have too much support left on the ground. You have some Marauders here. It looks like a couple of Marauders here are going to be charging in. And the Chicken is going to have a hard time battling up against the Princess. And he is using Plague of Rust to kind of, make these Phoenix Guard a little bit more attainable. And it's working pretty well. I mean, the Chosen then are able to really be exponentially more efficient against the Phoenix Guard with their low AP values. And also Sartorial himself doesn't have the best AP, so it does help out. And the Shaggoth actually goes down, so the Star Dragon coming over for a nice little goon right there, able to do some pretty good work against that Shaggoth. And the Chicken's going to be jumping in, trying to drumstick all over these Phoenix Guard, but yeah, the Flamespire Phoenix coming in. There's so many single entities left for the High Elves. I feel like it's going to be really tough to bring those guys down. But again, Bounce Power is actually somehow, some way, doing pretty well for Chaos. Maybe it's due to the fact that the Chaos Marauders are still here holding, or that Warp Chicken still has 2k HP. Let's take a big look around the battlefield. I don't think I see any elements of Chaos coming back in, although in the distance there is 59 Chaos Marauders over there, so those guys could come back and cause a bit of a problem, or at least give the Warp Chicken some buffering against these Halberds. But let's see here. Yeah, the Mage is probably going to be charging in. I mean, I just don't see how Sartorial can really take all three of these, because their combined HP is a lot more than he has. I mean, he's 2,000. And the Star Dragon could probably solo him, I would imagine. So Star Dragon and company going to be taking a more methodical approach. So instead of trying to snipe Sartorial, it looks like Green here is going to be going after many assets in the battlefield that are more beat up, so he's just going to be trying to clean up everything before he goes for the Alpha Strike. But the Chicken takes advantage of that a little bit. He goes in there and he actually clubs that High Mage and gets a Terror Route. So really good damage there from Sartorial. So I think the High Elves have had enough games. They're going to be swooping in here. As Chaos is like somehow in this game, like I don't know how they're in this balance of power, but the Star Dragon getting a little bit of a Tokyo Drift right there as it tries to get in. And Sartorial is going to be dropping a Plague of Rust on the Princess and going in for an Alpha Strike himself. So he has about 1200 HP. He's able to get a little bit of damage on the Princess. I mean, only 50 armor. That's not a lot. And Sartorial getting some huge blows on the Princess. Is Chaos going to be able to pull this game back? Chosen are back in here now, which is very, very tough. I mean, Chosen are just good against, like, just good in general. Good leadership, good stats. And the Princess coming in for a Cycle Charge. And the Warp Chicken has 1200 HP, and he's able to juke back a little bit and pull the Princess maybe out of position. Sartorial has 650 HP. Is the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth anywhere to be seen? No, it does not look like he is. And Sartorial is going to be going after the Mage with a little bit of help from some Horse Masters who came back in. And isolating and taking out this Mage would remove Apotheosis from the equation. And it looks like the Mage is going to break, potentially off the battlefield. Probably because he's really, really close to the edge, which is right here. Man, this is a close game. And look at that. The Bird's broken as well. The Flamespire Phoenix is broken and Chaos pulls ahead in this game. Absolute insanity. I can't believe it. I really thought the Star Dragon would be able to win that. I mean, its stat line is so much better. It just hits hard, but never underestimate KFC when the match results are on the line here. And you can see the Princess is going to be chasing these guys off. The Flamespire Phoenix is going to be uniting here with the Star Dragon. And I wonder if the Star Dragon has any breath attacks left. Now, I don't think there's too many High Elf troops on the ground. So now the High Elves have to engage because, of course, in accordance with the rules of the tournaments in which I know these two folks play under, as well as ladder rules, you can see here they're going to start taking leadership penalties for every second they don't fight. So Chaos Marauders and Chosen are getting ready. Oh, and the bird droppings coming in all over the Chosen, hitting some of the Marauders as well. Look at the droppings. Oh, nice stuff right there. Hitting those guys, and the bird is going to be slamming in. Now, guys, if the bird actually gets hit one more time, it might proc and heal up. Sartorial taking a big charge. Oh, and the bird heals up. Look at that. Oh, that is devastating. It heals up to like full health. And suddenly Sartorial is down for the count. 400 HP. There's no way he can beat the Flamespire Phoenix. And the Flamespire bird is going to be taking victory there. That proc was nasty. And I mean, the bird almost broke too. The Flamespire Phoenix. Had that ran off the battlefield, I think Chaos would have won that. Man, very well played at Zach B. Sane in green. That was an incredibly fun game to watch and cast. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. And yeah, well played to these guys. I mean, both builds were pretty cool for sure. I would say that green with the skirmishing game really put a lot of pressure on early, and Zach did an incredible job coming back in the late game and almost winning it. I mean, great stuff, great tenacity. I mean, they're both really good players, obviously, here, so that was really fun to watch. So yeah, well played to Zach in green. I mean, cool builds, cool play, and thanks again for sending in that replay. So guys, we'll see you next time. Stay tuned for details on the World Cup. Granted, by the time this video goes out, the World Cup details will probably already be presented. So thanks again, guys, and we'll see you next time. Take care.